Chris, the Australian Championship. What do you make of it so far?
First game on the weekend, unreal to be honest. The whole setup is just it's the right stepping stone for what Australia football needs.
Mm.
But to be a part of it on the weekend was it was incredible.
Why was it so incredible?
Oh, well, firstly, we're at a club that has a lot of history and but they have a huge crowd, Preston
Mm.
Lions. So the atmosphere was firstly like phenomenal, and it gave you that feeling of like being a pro footballer
Yeah,
again. So, you're traveling with the boys down to Melbourne, staying the night, then playing the next day, and then, just geeing up for everything. So, yeah, it was a really good
yeah, it's
experience.
felt for it. I mean, it was that game earlier in the season, right? Who did they play? Was it South Melbourne?
Yeah, South Melbourne, yeah. And
Yeah,
the guy,
yeah. And so like when that game happened and like the hype on social media afterwards, it was ridiculous, right? You're seeing a small, tiny stadium just absolutely filled to the rafters. Like the sort of exposure that it got on social media and in the media afterwards was superb. Like, what was it like being down there? Was it Sunday or Saturday night that you guys played?
we played Saturday, yeah, Saturday Arvo. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what was the atmosphere like? Was it similar to that of the South Melbourne game?
Well, I think a lot of the Victorian Premier League games they played Friday nights. So I think the crowd was a little bit less than like anticipated. But like it was still like a huge crowd. Like we don't get that in New South Wales, I'd say. Um, and it's just like little things like the fans swapping sides from where they're like where Preston's scoring in, so they'd always be behind my goal. Uh, so it was always
So you've
keeping
been
my eye.
absolute abused for 90
Yeah,
minutes.
to be honest, I was expecting they still gave it to me, but I love it. To be honest, when they give it to me, it just cheers me up. But um, yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It wasn't as hostile as I thought though. To be fair,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's fair. Well, for those who don't know, obviously Chris is the goalkeeper at Spirit, and I mean, look, you guys had an unbelievable season this year, right? Do you want to talk us through it a little bit?
yeah, sure. Yeah, obviously, yeah, we got we recruited a lot of different players. It's kind of been like the last couple of years. It's like almost like half the team goes and half the team stays. We kept a good core group
Mm,
going into this season. So I guess the last couple of years we've always been defensively like sound.
yeah.
And then this year we just brought in like well we had an amazing front line.
Mm,
Um, Kubo, Taki, and Mikey up top were just unbelievable to be honest. Like between them, I think they would have had like scored like 50 goals or something plus, and then plus assists. So yeah, it was just the confidence in the team. Like the first round went by, won late winner. Second round went by, we smashed Blacktown, and then third game went by, and I think we beat Arpia, I think it was, or maybe St George, and we were like, gosh, like this is where we realized like we're solid.
mm.
And we went like the start of the season was just like we went unbeaten for 6 or 7 games, I think it was.
Yeah, I remember like you were 5 from 5, to begin with, or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and we were like we typically have decent starts, I'd say, but like this year was just like once we realized like we beat like three big dogs, like
Mm,
big teams, it just got that confidence just built, and I think that's what kind of drove us to the title towards the end of the season. Even though we did have a middle phase of the season where like we were struggling, like we just kind of lost our form a bit, which I think every team has anyway. Yeah, we then kind of just again picked ourselves up, and then the last 10 games of the season we just went unbeaten. We beat Marconi 5-0, and then Rockdale 6-3, which were just like kind of unheard of scores. So
mm.
yeah, and then we just I don't know the confidence was so high. Like we just like it was almost like we just knew we were going to win in a way, not in a cocky way, just like we knew we'd get a result regardless of who we were playing. And
Yeah.
like the biggest thing for me is momentum. Really, is a
Mm,
big part of like sport. Like if you can kind of start that momentum and keep it going. The longer you keep that momentum going, the harder it is to break. And I think
mm.
that's what we got essentially.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
just
and
sort
then
of run
yeah,
off
just
that energy, right?
yeah, we just literally rode off so much momentum. And like again, we had the confidence from like all the players in the team. We had such good players in our team this season. Like
Mm,
like, and then even just our players off coming off the bench were solid. Like someone
Yeah.
like Harry Keys, for example, like was coming off the bench and scoring like last minute winners like two or three times.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, just the whole squad was very confident, just very solid, and it was honestly an
How
unbelievable.
much focus was there on knowing that if you won the MPL this season, that you were going to be a part of the championship? Was that something that was talked about a lot within the change room amongst you guys, etc.?
Yeah, well, I think like at the start of the season, there was always kind of a goal because it was going to be the next best ranked New South Wales team. So obviously, if Marconi and Apia won, then it would be third place or
Yeah.
whatever it was. But like it's kind of started becoming more, more real once it was, later in the season, around 20 or so.
Hmm.
Like, we can actually do this. And then I think once we beat Rockdale, like although we hadn't qualified for it at that point, I think we kind of knew like, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it was an unbelievable feeling when we did that because I know like obviously the season goes for a lot longer for all of us, but like it's the first championship ever, and I think everyone was absolutely buzzing and is buzzing
Yeah.
to be a part of it. So yeah, it was just an
Well, I
unbelievable.
was speaking to someone this week, and again, don't quote me exactly on the figures, but the ratings have been through the roof on SBS. Like I heard the first round, I think there was well over 1 million or close to 2 million viewership across the platform. Yeah, maybe there wasn't as many bums on seats in some of the grounds. Naturally, when they're not designed to be holding 50,000 plus, but it's such a positive for the game, right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I've personally tuned in to watch some of the other games as well, like just because it's like everything's so set up so well and so professionally. Like the Sydney Olympic and like the Sydney Olympic game and against South Melbourne was just a top one to start off with to score. I think it was
Mm,
what, I think it was 3-2.
yeah,
And
it was a late goal, wasn't there?
late goal, huge. I think it was a crowd of like 6,000, 7,000. It's
Wow,
like to be honest, like there's not really much more we like kind of want. Like that's exactly what we're after. And if that was to
starting
be,
point.
yeah, it's a brilliant starting point. That's the reality.
Yeah,
Uh, so yeah, it's been like I said, it's been amazing so far. Like the first round was just so incredible. So let's just see how
yeah,
it goes.
brilliant, mate. Well, hopefully you guys can go a little bit further then.
Yeah, that's the plan. But tough group, tough group. We've got Avondale this Sunday, and then the Canberra Croatia team the following week. So see how we go.
Happy days.
Mm.
Look, number of things I want to discuss today, including the keepers that you help train, some of the athletes, that we work together on. Before we do that, let's rewind the clock a second. Why don't we start back to your youth football here in Australia? What did that look like to you?
Yeah. For me, it was I started off just at a local club when I think I was 6 or 7.
Yep.
Literally just playing on the field until I got to the point where I realized I'm not very good on the field. Most keepers,
Appreciate the honesty.
most keepers have that realization at some point.
Mate,
And
I
then,
should have that realization. I'm 6'4". I don't know what I was doing.
yeah, exactly right. And then, yeah, I guess the height factor obviously plays a part because I was playing in my brother's team and just being tall and bigger, just kind of naturally go into goals.
Yeah,
Yeah, so then I just kind of realized I was okay at saving a shot and not being scared,
yeah,
which is kind of the two ingredients of being a goalkeeper. But yeah, then I just kind of dove to or went to different we can call it JDL then or anything, but it was like reps.
yeah.
Like
We used to just call it reps, didn't we? Yeah,
yeah, rep association teams and things like that. Anyway, I went to Parramatta and St. George FC and kind of had a year or two there. And then by the time I was under 13s, I went to Marconi Stallions. That's when I got a bit more serious with football. I actually had to decide between playing rugby league and football. So I decided
Oh
to.
wow. Okay.
I only did one year of rugby league, but it was fun. But football I was better at. So yeah, under 13s I was just at Marconi Stallions until I was 16. Yeah, and that was a great experience. We had such a good team. A lot of players that um, I played with then have played kind of MPL across the leagues, like Richie Darko, for example, at Sydney United.
Yeah.
But just a great team when we were younger. Yeah, it was a good experience playing it. playing at Marconi.
Mm.
And
So how do you think your time at Marconi sort of shaped you moving into the European opportunity that you had?
yeah, well, I think because our team was so strong, we had like essentially we had a team that was like would win almost every game. Now, I probably wouldn't touch the ball that often, which isn't good for a goalkeeper. But I was always training in like that high level environment with all these good players. So then kind of the opportunity came, to go overseas to England. Like although it was a step up, but I was because I was still training at a high level, wasn't as big of a step up. I
Mm.
found. I guess the biggest thing, kind of heading there was, well, heading to England is the mentality of things. There's so much
Mm.
more brutal, and they just have so much. To be honest, they have so much more passion.
Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
that was the big thing. Like they love
So what do
football.
you mean? You say passion, it means different things to different people. What was it that when you got there you were like, oh shit, like I'm in a completely different environment here?
Oh, it was just I think the passion came out in training particularly.
Okay.
Yeah, so just the intensity of training was so high. Like no one really kind of mess around with. I still feel like even now sometimes kids can mess around a little bit sometimes because they haven't experienced what it's like over there. And my
Mm.
biggest thing is, like I say to parents, is to actually experience overseas football to see
Yeah.
to see how other countries train and play.
Mm.
Obviously, everyone has a different style. The good thing about going from Australia to England, it was similar at the time, in terms of like playing styles, like kind of not longer balls, but you know, didn't wasn't necessarily a tiki taka kind of like
Sure.
yeah, playing style, especially at Stoke.
Yeah. Was Tony Pulis there at the time, or is that post
Nah,
Pulis?
Tony, I had just arrived just after Tony Pulis had left, which obviously was you know, where
The
all the
time, the
long
long
football was
ball.
played, and to be fair, all the successful football was played, and it seems like actually a lot of teams are trying to kind of employ those tactics again because
Mm.
how many long throw-ins are going into the box now? Like it's
Yeah.
wild. It's actually not. It's kind of funny to see the trend now of football changing.
Mm.
But yeah, no, it was look, yeah, Stoke was a mad transition. It did take me probably a year to settle in. I was 16 as well, so I was young.
Uh,
Um,
how did it come around, if you don't mind me asking?
yeah,
Like,
no, no, I went on. So like I said, as I say to parents, try and go on experiences, whether it's a tour, whether it's some agent that tees it up, whatever it is.
yeah.
Just experience that. I went on a football tour with a team,
Okay.
with my brother, his age group, and at the time it just happened to be like it was pure coincidence that Stoke were looking for a goalkeeper in my age group. I was
Uh,
15 at the time, I think. Yeah, and anyway, whilst I was there, my coach had the contact with Stoke because we had just played them in a game as well, like their feeder team. And he messaged the person from Stoke messaged my coach and was like, "Oh, like you have any goalkeepers?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I've got this, 6'2", 15-year-old." And back then, and even now, I guess a little bit is back then they heard like, "Oh, 6'2", 15, mate, get him in." Like,
yeah.
get him in for a session. They didn't even like. I could have been the most uncoordinated like goalkeeper ever. They didn't care. They
Yeah.
didn't care. But so yeah, they brought me in for a training session whilst I was on the tour. Did a goalkeeper session, and then I think it was a day or two after I went and played for the actual youth team, the under 15s. We played against Wrexham. I remember it pretty vividly still. I think we won. I think it was 6-1 we won that game, and I kind of
Yeah. Wow.
played well. Yeah, and then essentially after that game, they go, "Oh, like we really kind of like you."
Mm.
They got back to my coach and said they liked me, sorry, and then went back to Australia and then kind of kept communicating. Got
Back
injured
then,
actually when I was
do you mind me interjecting for a second? Back then,
all good.
was they? Because obviously now it's a lot different. Being an international going into a foreign academy, there's a number of different rules around that,
Mm.
etc. Was there any rules or restrictions holding you back, or did you have access to a UK passport?
Yeah, good question. You didn't the UK passport wasn't really a rule at the time. You just needed a European passport.
Right, okay, because that's back when
Yeah,
they were in the EU, right? Yeah.
correct. Yeah, yeah, that's right. So and my dad's Portuguese, so I had the Portuguese passport that I was able to
Okay,
utilize
makes sense.
to live there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, just ended up yeah, came back. I actually got injured.
Mm.
I was going to go back, but I got injured, and 4 or 5 months had went by, or actually even half a year had went by, and I was like just kind of in this weird place in Australia. I was like, I didn't like in my mind that is, I was like in a weird mental space where I was like, what, am I going to go back? Am I, like, what's kind of happening with football? And then like out of the blue, my dad just messaged the coach. He got his number. Oh yeah, bring him in, bring him in.
Yeah,
So then I
right.
was like, oh, like within like I don't know, like a month, I was like on a flight to England to go essentially trial and play for them. It was
Yeah.
initially like I think a 4 month kind of deal
Okay.
to see how I go, and then after that, they gave me I think it was around December or January. They ended up giving me the scholarship, which is a 2 year
Wow.
scholarship.
Yeah. What does a scholarship look like over there for people that don't know?
Yeah, so a scholarship in England is for the under 18 squad, so you're guaranteed 2 years in the squad.
Yep.
A part of that is like they do mandatory like education and like qualifications and things. Sorry, qualification and things like that. As a part of the because it's like a trade.
Okay.
It's like becoming an apprentice for a trade. So you have to do some sort of mandatory education alongside your football. So like I remember I had to go and do work experience. I ended up doing the work experience at the club, but it was with like the kit man of the club. It was so funny. But yeah,
Going
yeah,
around washing
basically two
jerseys all day
years.
long, man.
What's that?
Going around washing jerseys all day long.
Yeah, well, that's where I took a lot. That's where a lot of the boys would come into like the first team players would come in, and I'd just be like 16 playing for the club, trying to take photos with like Peter Crouch. But yeah, then yeah, it was just basically yeah. So you had to do studying on top of your football.
Yeah.
But it was a 2 year guaranteed contract. Yeah, until you turn 18, and then after that, it was up to them if they want to re-sign you.
And you did 3 years at Stoke, right?
Yeah, so I did under 16s, and then I did the scholarship, which was 17s and 18s.
Okay. And then
Uh,
what did that next phase look like exactly? Because there was a move to Notts Forest, right?
yeah, so then look, obviously, from Stoke, they didn't want to renew my contract, so I had to obviously look elsewhere.
Yeah.
That's when I Stoke, and to be fair, Stoke were pretty good in like helping me get trials as well. One of the trials that came up was Nottingham Forest, and I went down and played a game for them and did pretty well. And then they were like, "Yeah, we want to sign you for on a 1 year pro." So
Wow.
I was like, "Yes." For me, I was buzzing. I was like, "This is unreal. I get to still play here at a
Yeah.
great club." And in fact, like
It's a
Nottingham,
massive club, let's be real. Because back then they would have been what in the championship, I think, still.
they were in the championship. Yeah,
Yeah. And what was Stoke in the Prem when you were there? They probably would have been, right?
Stoke were in the Prem, and like honestly, they were finishing every year below 10th. Like they were a top team. There was so many good players, like
Hmm.
Peter Crouch, Boyan, Shaqiri,
Kiri was there, wasn't he? Yeah, he was there
yeah,
for a long time.
Stephen and Zonzi, who was I think he just went back there now, but he was a World Cup winner.
Yeah.
Like all in this squad. Oh, sorry, Marco
Was
Arnautovic.
Rob Huth the centre back as well?
There was Robert Huth
Yeah.
and Ryan Shawcross. Huth won the league with Leicester, and Ryan Shawcross
Yeah.
came across
Yeah.
from Man United.
Huth was at Chelsea as well, I think, when he started out.
Yeah, he would have been at Chelsea. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So,
so some very, very good players in that Stoke team.
oh the Stoke squad was unbelievable, and there was one boy that I played with that ended up playing a couple, having a couple appearances as well in the first team. Um, but yeah, it was unreal. It was a great setup. It's changed a lot now, I think, the training facilities and everything. But Stoke were always a Category One youth Premier League club as well. So we were always in that highest division. So we'd go and play, Man United when
Yeah.
Rashford was playing in the 18s.
Oh wow. Who'd
Yeah,
you play against him?
yeah, Rashford. Yeah, no, like Man City team that we played against had Phil Foden, Jadon Sancho. Urson Collino. There was another top player. They had these again, unbelievable team.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
wow. You
Uh,
get proper tested like all through your peak teenage years then, right?
yeah, yeah. And the other mad experience we had, we played a lot of tournaments as well when we were at Stoke. Um, one of them was the FA Youth Cup, which was just again unbelievable.
Yeah,
We had
okay.
Coventry one year and some of these other like League Two teams. I think Mansfield Town was another one. Um, another like we went to a tournament in Hungary. We actually won that tournament. Um, we went to a tournament in Germany, and then we also went to a tournament in America. It's called the Adidas Generation Cup.
Yeah.
and we actually won that tournament. And I realized only like 7 or 8 years later, I had realized that there was a player that I played against that one of my students told me that I played against, and I didn't even realize was do you know Lucas Paqueta from West Ham?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like unbelievable winger for West Ham, and like he was just in that tournament playing. So it was
yeah,
again,
wow.
I'm mad experience.
Well, you
Like
mentioned the FA Youth Cup. It's quite prestigious in the UK. Like, what was that like? You say you mentioned there you went to a couple of like Coventry, etc. at the time, League Two clubs. What was it about those fixtures that were so special? Did they draw like big crowds for games like that?
yeah, they actually they get decent crowds to be honest, even at youth level. But I think the good thing, or like the experience, like what made it a great experience as well, is you always got to play on the stadium. Like you never got to play on stadiums really.
Okay,
Um, like in England, like you'd only play on the training facilities. So like it was the game was always in a stadium. And in
wow.
fact, actually, in the first year we got to like I think it was like the third round, and we were the first team to play on Man City's like new training ground
Oh
stadium.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, and like the whole facility was unbelievable.
I've been there. It's although it's a training stadium, it's bloody huge.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah,
It's
it can hold a good few thousand. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, good few thousand. But it was just like again the vibe of it as well was like next level. So um, yeah, it was unreal experiences.
And then what happened? What happened at Forest then? 1 year pro. It's obviously a little bit different from going on a scholar, right?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Forest was look. Forest were in the championship in first team level, but in the youth level, they're in the category two like competition, which
Yeah.
is like the division like below. But they were always kind of renowned for developing and like playing players in the first team. Like for example, Ben Brereton, Diaz he's called now. Used to be Ben Brereton, but he plays for Chile. And he was like one player. He was a player that was like 17 years old, and I was living with him.
Okay.
We used to live in the street of the Forest ground, the stadium.
Yeah.
1 minute he's playing on the field and he scores a last minute winner, and then like 30 minutes later he's rocking up back to the we call it digs, rocking up back to digs, just going to bed like nothing's happened.
Oh, wow, that's
So,
mental.
but like yeah, like Forest was I found the group of boys at Forest were even like more intense to be honest.
Why's that?
I don't know, just different boys, kind of bit more like I'd say it was just got to more cutthroat level. Like players wanted to play, and obviously playing for more contracts and things like that.
Mm.
And a lot of them were like that was their weekly wage as well that they were living off. Like
Mm.
some of the older young pros that were in the team.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we had a pretty good team that season as well. Again, heaps of boys ended up playing in the first team that year, and even the
Yeah.
following.
Wow. Did you ever get a
Um,
sniff of playing in the first team?
Nah, I never got a sniff, but like over like with Stoke and Nottingham, I train with the first team quite a lot, especially on international breaks.
Yeah.
They usually bring the goalkeepers up, and it was like always unreal. Like, in fact,
Yeah.
I remember when I was at Stoke, there was this goal. I'll never forget it. We were just playing shit on side, and Peter Crouch wasn't with the England national team, and I've just thrown him this ball like over the top, and he's just done this unbelievable like scissor kick, just banged it in. I was like, mate, this is why this guy is like at the top level. It was so good. Yeah. But yeah, it was always like I said during the international weekends, the keepers would always kind of train with the first team.
Yeah.
In fact, Nicholas Bentner came as well to Forest. I don't know if
Yeah.
you
He
remember
was there
Bentner.
for a bit, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, Lord Bentner.
What
Uh,
was he like?
he was all right. But I'll never forget this as well was we're practicing penalties in training. I saved like three of his penalties like in a row in training.
Oh.
I was like, shit, I don't know if I should have done that. Like, like I don't know, like I don't know if he's gonna get annoyed, but he was all right. He was calm, and then like I think he actually ended up missing a penalty that week.
Oh no.
Like, I'm like shit. But like that was to be honest, that was a huge signing at the time as well. Like I think he came from like Arsenal
Mm.
or something at the time, and he's a pretty famous player for good and bad reasons. But yeah,
Well, when you got a nickname like Lord Bentner, I mean,
yeah,
it's it's
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
nice, isn't it?
exactly right, exactly right. But yeah,
Yeah.
look, Forest was a top club, especially going to get developed. I found I had a better experience with the goalkeeper staff at Stoke.
Okay.
compared to Forest. But I was also there longer as well, so yeah, it was good to
Yeah,
see
good
two
to know.
different kind of setups. Yeah.
So what
Hmm.
did you do after Forest then? Was that your time where you decided to come home?
Yeah, so back end of that season, I was injured at Forest, so I couldn't go on any trials. So it was a case of coming back home and just kind of reassessing. And obviously, look, it gets challenging when you're overseas, especially from a young age. I missed Australia heaps, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
Like people sometimes kind of write Australia off and whatever, but Australia is like an amazing country.
Mm.
Um,
You don't
like
realize how good it is until you leave, right?
That's yeah, exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. So anyway, came back home. I thought I need, just good kind of home time to reassess. Kept training, stayed sharp. Was gonna head back over to trial, just didn't end up happening.
Yeah.
And this then then an offer with Mariners came up. So I was playing with Mariners in the NPL. I think it was I honestly can't even remember
Mm.
who the
What
names.
year was this?
What year?
Mm.
It would have been 8 years ago, so 2017 roughly.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just played with their first team in MPL, but I was training every day with the A League team.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and then I did the preseason with the A League team and did very well. Played a couple games as well. But then they ended up signing Tom Glover. He's one of the Socceroos goalkeepers.
Yeah.
They signed him on loan that year, so they had their three keepers, and it just kind of obviously then I lost my spot with that, and yeah, then from there it was just a matter of all right, I want to go back to Europe, but like I wanted to kind of go a bit more prepared financially because just in case like things go wrong. So then I started working a little bit. I played NPL. We had a good team at St. George. Like there was a lot of boys that um, had actually played A League that were in that team. Like for example, Steve Cousy was in there. Michael Traj. They both played for Wanderers A League team, and I think Cousy was at Melbourne City. So yeah, we went there and we had a good team. We kind of smashed that year in NPL 3.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so yeah, now I've just been did like yeah, look, didn't go back and trial. Just kind of yeah, stayed and started playing or kept playing MPL, I guess.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fair. And then what inspired GKU in the academy?
Yeah, so I think like one of the big things that got me across to what helped me get to England was I had a very good mentor when I was here, when I was younger, probably about I was 14,
Yeah.
and just the coach I had, his name was Chris as well, actually. And he was just like gave me so much confidence and like helped me
Yeah.
develop
No.
so much like better as a goalkeeper. But yeah, the big thing was like he just made me feel like I was the best. And that's why kind of going over to England didn't seem as hard because I just thought like I kind of almost got into the state where I thought I was just kind of almost better than people, which wasn't really my character. Like
But
the
it's
other
probably the
goalkeepers.
mindset that you need to have, right, if you're going to go over and be successful in that environment.
Yeah, the biggest thing is like, especially in England, like I said, where it's a bit more cutthroat, is you got to be able to like deal with things that tough criticism
Mm.
that people say, and even things that the boys say in the change room and locker room and whatever. You got to be able to cop that, and yeah, I went over very confident. I was physically at a good point because of Chris.
Mm.
Anyway, the point of that is I realized later that how much someone can kind of affect your development
Yeah.
in like a positive way. So yeah, Chris was a big reason for that. Big reason for me starting GKU because yeah, I just felt like I had that kind of same mentality and I also I felt like I had that experience and knowledge to kind of pass on to, well, firstly goalkeepers, which is
Yeah.
what I
Sure.
started with, but now with like all types of players.
Mm.
So yeah,
Because you
just
expanded, didn't it, from goalkeepers to outfield players as well?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, look, I feel yeah the goalkeepers was initially just easier for me to start with, to be honest, just because I played that, but then I started doing team coaching and other things like that, and coaching the outfield players became a lot easier for me and something I enjoyed as well. And it was nice to actually have a balance of coaching goalkeepers and players, just getting that difference. And it's actually allowed me to coach players differently and
Yeah.
goalkeepers differently because I understand both kind of aspects now. Yeah.
So I want to go back to something you said a second ago. I didn't want to interrupt you, but
No.
you mentioned like going overseas. You kind of got to be mentally prepared for what's going to come, right? And you mentioned, what people might say in the change room or the criticism that you might get. Could you go back and even pick out maybe one of those times that maybe you had a bit of a scenario where something didn't go well, copped a bit of shit in one of those two different environments, that really sort of resonated with you and almost made you stronger as such?
Yeah, good question. I think the at when I was at Stoke,
Yeah.
that first year, like so we had three goalkeepers in our team in under 18s.
Okay.
And two of the goalkeepers were like the year above me. So for me to play, I was never going to really get a chance to play. One of the goalkeepers was a Hungarian national team goalkeeper, and the other one was actually an Australian goalkeeper. I'm kind of best mates with now, coincidentally. But yeah, so I always had that competition in front of me there, and I think because of that, when people don't see you playing, they kind of think it, rubbish, and they can kind of
Mm,
give you a bit more stick than what they might to another player.
mm.
There's not one specific moment I could say, but I just remember that kind of like feeling of,
The
um,
dynamic.
yeah, yeah, like, yeah, yeah, like I said, just getting that stick from boys in the team, a bit easier. Um,
Mm,
but then kind of, I think that helped me develop my like resilience because then towards the back end of the season, like my coach was like, you're going to play these run of games,
yeah.
and all that kind of hard work I did during the season, training well, then led into good match performances.
Mm,
Like to be honest, very good match performances. And then we went in, as I mentioned before, we went to a tournament in Germany, and
yeah.
then we won that tournament as well.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it was kind of like a big like there was like one boy in the team I'd say like giving more stick than others. It was just like kind of like a big stuff you kind of thing.
Yeah. It's almost like you won
It's
this
what I can. This
recognition.
is actually what I can do.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was I'd say that was one kind of aspect. Yeah.
No, it's interesting, right? Like it obviously puts you in a good position now with doing what you do. Maybe go a little bit deeper with players and prepare them for what might be to come when you get put in those sort of cutthroat environments, right? Like obviously, we work within the college system. It's a similar thing. You're getting all internationals from all across the world coming over to play in a team environment, like you said. There's other international goalkeepers, older people in front of you. It's cutthroat. Like, you're not here playing park football anymore where, you're paid to play, etc. Like, people are fighting for that position. There's scholarships, there's money on the line. It's a completely different environment to what most kids are probably grown up to playing here, right?
Yeah, that's all right. Especially in I'd say especially like in England, specifically with England, like a lot of people like I was saying, some of the boys were literally living off their weekly wage. Their weekly wage was playing, in the under 23s for Nottingham. Like they
Yeah.
were so for them, they were fighting like every year to try and get a new contract or a bigger contract or a better contract, whatever it was. So if they're not playing, people aren't looking at them. They're not going to think of them.
Mm,
They might not get that upgraded contract. So yeah, it was like for me, it was always that is like it was just you know you had to fight hard. I fighted like for me, it was like a whole year, a whole season just to play. Like I think it ended up being maybe like 10 games at the back end of the season.
wow.
So you gotta like for me, it was like I'm gotta just keep training, and just be
Mm.
ready for the moment. Because that's as especially as a goalkeeper, that's probably the biggest thing is being when you're called upon, you got to be ready. That's it.
Such a tough position, right? Like all the goalkeepers that I talk to and work with, it's like cutthroat. There's one position, the guy that usually starts or the girl that usually starts, he usually finishes the game as well. It's not like you're a striker where you haven't scored a goal in the 60th minute, you're getting subbed in, right?
No, that's exactly right. Like there was like actually even another example was like there was a boy that they had signed on like a at Stoke, sorry, they'd signed on like a 3 or 4 year deal. So obviously they have big, ambitions for him, and then he wasn't scoring that season. He wasn't
Yeah,
scoring. And
wow.
it's like, but they feel obliged to keep playing him because he's on this long deal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's things like that that come into play, which I guess is a bit political in a way, but at the end of the day, you like. you just got to be like I said for a goalkeeper is you just got to be stay as sharp as possible. Um, be mentally ready to perform whenever you get the opportunity because yeah, you had to take it. You had to take it. Always like literally, if you had one or two bad games or three,
Yeah,
they drop you. Yeah,
yeah, 100%.
yeah. So
Let's talk about Chloe Saros. Obviously, this was a player that I put forward to you before she went, just to get her some extra training, get her prepared. Obviously, it all went really well. Great feedback on her behalf, regards to working with you, vice versa. She's gone in and played every minute NCAA Division One football this year. She got recruited into a team that were top 100 in the country. What's your take on it?
yeah, Chloe for me, like she trained very very well. Like I can't really think of a bad session that she had. That she had to be honest with you. So for me, I was very confident that she'd actually go there and start because,
Yeah,
as we were saying before,
yeah,
especially in your first year going to college, it's normally pretty tough to get some minutes.
absolutely.
Um, like you shouldn't go into the expectation of starting in that first
Mm.
year almost, but
Especially being
uh,
a goalkeeper, right?
especially being a goalkeeper. But yeah, once like I knew she was ready once she had done all the training and she was looking very sharp and just mentally she was ready as well.
Mm.
Yeah, you can see it. But she gives you like she gives you that safe feeling um as a kind of as a player like when you watch her like she doesn't look like she's going to make mistakes or anything like that. Uh
Mm. I can agree with that, and I've watched it a number of times this season. It doesn't look like any wobbly moments, if that makes sense.
yeah, I know it's a bit of an eye test, but like that's just kind of and that was like just from me watching her train. Kind
Mm.
of got that fuel in training. So but yeah, she did really well, and like obviously, I'm super proud that she's performing the way she is now because she did put in the effort to get herself ready. It's one thing getting recruited to go there, but then you have to like be ready to smash it when you do go there. Like you can't
Yeah,
you can't
exactly.
start slow.
Mm.
Um,
And you see a few kids that fall into that trap. Realistically, that they go into this thinking, I'm going to America, I played a decent level here, I'm going to go over and piss it. It's just not the case. It's not
nah,
the case whatsoever.
yeah, like you said, you got so many like different internationals coming over as well, and of course, like the American standard in general has improved so much. Like
Absolutely.
dramatically. Like I'll wind back just a sec. That's when I was at Stoke and we played in that American tournament, the Adidas Generation Cup. Like the team in the final was Real Salt Lake, an American team, not Flamengo, the team we played in
Wow.
semi-final or some other like European team. It was an American team. So like they did a lot of hard work. Sorry,
Mm.
the Americans have done a lot of hard work to improve their football for years.
Mm.
Years. And it would have started actually with Pele,
Well, they
really.
beat us this morning.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Yeah,
they did.
Australia got
Okay.
beat 2-1 by the US. I'm sure there'll
Okay.
be a few people
Well,
on
there you go. Like,
that.
and they're probably ranked in the top, 15, I'd say, in the world. I remember at
Yeah.
one point, though, I think they were in the top 10.
Mm.
Anyway, the point of that is like you're going up against one internationals and two American, like the Americans that are obviously who have just improved so dramatically in football. Like you gotta be ready.
Yeah,
There's no other word to it. You gotta be ready
100%.
to smash it. So
I'm looking at it. It's nice that we've got that relationship where, we can pass on players to you now and say, hey, like this is the project, this is where they're going to go. They've got X amount of time to be ready. Look, outfield players, Sam Allison, he's done fantastically this season. As we were talking off air before, he comes off the bench the other day and gets 3 assists, right? Versus, the next one that we've worked on together, Matilda Gilbert.
yeah, yeah. Well, Sam firstly was like he was obviously he's a player and um he was training really well. He had a couple of injuries when he was back here, but when he was sharp, he was just unbelievable.
Mm,
So again, I'm not surprised that he's gone there and kind of done well off the bat as well because he would put in the hours to train. Like
yeah,
he'd train with
absolutely.
me and then he'd actually go and do his own stuff. Or when he was at the park with me, he'd do some extra running if you needed to after the session, for
Yeah.
example. So Sam was very good and very methodical with his training regime.
Mm.
So again, not surprised. Now, yeah, and now obviously uh, Matilda, like for me personally, as soon as like um, you know, she kind of came to mind to get to college. She came to my mind because like I just felt like she would suit the system. Physically, she's amazing. She's been at a good club with Spirit. She's a great goalkeeper. Like she's got some unbelievable saves in her. She used to play as a field player up until I think it was 14 or 15, so she's very good for her feet. But yeah, now like it's just her turn. Like now it's her turn to just get ready for it the next 3 months, which she is, and she's doing really well. Um, and yeah, just kind of go over and kill it. Like I won't be surprised if she goes there and does very well. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
she's
Why
like
is that?
oh, just because well, one she keeps herself very fit.
Mm.
Two, she's been in a good environment here in Australia. Like Spirit's a very well-run club, like kind of
Absolutely.
holistically.
Yeah.
Um, so she's had that kind of good development there. Um, but yeah, she's just like mentally, she's getting in a much better space to go and really smash it, and she's so motivated right now. Like, and at the end of the day, if you have that motivational kind of factor, then like the world's kind of your oyster.
Mm.
And like she's going in January, so she's still got 3 months, 4 months, to kind of improve. But
Absolutely.
sorry, and the other thing is that kind of I started helping her like earlier in the year, and just within a month, like the amount of improvement she made
Mm.
was huge, like
Okay.
huge.
In what
And
way?
just like one, I'd say her firstly thought process about how to deal with certain situations, and she developed more of an understanding on certain things. Like we're working on her one-on-one technique and things like that more as well. And she like just with her one-on-one and sorry her crosses as well. Again, over the span of a month, like just from constant reps, she just improved through the roof. And that was
Yeah.
that was on her really. Like she was coming to extra training or she'd ask me to train or whatever it was. So again, she has that motivation to want to do it.
Yeah. Massive.
Most It's the most important ingredient to success. So yeah,
I think she's
like for me now, like the next 3 months, like I wouldn't see why she wouldn't go even kind of
mm,
further with her kind of development.
she's got the
Uh,
personality as well, right? Like she's extroverted. She's got a bit about her. She's a very good communicator. Where do you sort of see her ceiling over there?
Look, I definitely could see her being like a captain, like
Yeah,
of the, like that's the type of like you said, she's
I
extroverted.
agree. Mm.
She's got that type of personality, where like people will listen and like when she does play, she does like her mind change, like she goes into goalkeeper mode. It's not
Yeah,
like there's kind of like Matilda off the field and then there's Matilda on the field. They're two different kind of people, which is what you want really.
sure.
Um, so yeah, honestly, like we look, I've, we've been speaking and like we've set some pretty high targets for her to achieve. So
Yeah, massive.
um, yeah, we're just gonna but we're gonna focus on short-term goals first, and then hopefully all those short-term goals will accumulate to one big one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
brilliant. Love
yeah.
that. Well, look, bit of a closing piece that we like to do on the pod. If you could go back to a young Chris here in Oz, pre-Europe, pre-NPL, pre-par football, just starting out at the beginning, and understanding the journey that you've sort of had, obviously having that European experience, now playing in the championship, what advice would you give him and why?
Yeah, good question. I think for me the biggest thing, and always will be, is having that self-belief. As I mentioned before, you're going to come into environments where it's cutthroat. There's heavy criticism, obviously, which leads to potentially doubting yourself.
Yeah,
Um, I think the biggest thing that you can do to achieve your goals is just keeping your self-belief to its best level possible. Obviously, how you do that might be up to you, but um, for me, I had a great mentor who
mm,
helped instill that belief and that confidence. And I've seen players that have gone on to be pros that honestly weren't the best technically or physically, but you could see in their mind after like a mistake, for example, like their heads wouldn't drop, they just continue and go and go.
Yeah,
So for me,
wish I
the
had that.
yeah, it's so hard to develop.
Mm,
It's so hard to develop. But if you have that, then I think that's like a recipe for success. That's part of a recipe for success. Obviously, all the other things have to come into place, but
mm,
that self belief, and of course the drive and motivation comes from that as well. So, to then do all your extra stuff to improve is huge. The other thing is you need to be doing stuff away from what your team training sessions.
absolutely.
Yeah, you do. You're not going to probably get enough in your team session to help yourself as much as you can. You need to go out and do your
Yeah,
own stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
massively. I
that's
appreciate that, man, and I think couldn't have said it better, especially with that self belief aspect of going into a new environment somewhere else, like that ability to back yourself is huge. And like you said, like some of those professionals that you've seen, they have that ability where if something would go wrong on the field, they wouldn't dwell on it. You could see that in their body language and sort of how they play. It's a massive piece to it. So, I think you're bang on the money there. Lastly, like where can the people find you? I know you've obviously got a social media page, etc.
oh, yeah. So yeah, my football academy is called GKU Academy. Um, yes, as I said, it started as goalkeepers, but it's we train players now. We compete in like futsal tournaments.
Yep.
But you can just find me on Instagram at GKU Academy, or just searching my website www.gkuacademy.com.au.
Awesome.
Nice and simple.
Or if they see the Ute flying around, they'll see a big big F off sticker at the back.
Yeah,
GK.
yeah. You might see yeah, you see the Ute or the van, the van as well. It's got a nice, but yeah, you can see all the details there.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for your time.
No, I appreciate it, Dylan.